So I was reading this article, Jackson, AI in Professional Services Report 2026 by Thomson Reuters. I'll go ahead and give a high-level overview, then we can jump into it and have a little chat about it.
Yeah, sounds good.
So, oh my gosh. AI adoption has reportedly doubled across organizations from the US. Across organizations in the US, it doubled from 22% in 2025 to 40% now. But only 18% of these businesses are actually tracking the ROI of the tools they're using. I have a couple thoughts on those high-level overviews from this article. I'll go over real quick, and then we can kind of go by headline for the article and share thoughts there. Communication from the business to employee is inconsistent, which is probably why ROI is so low or is tracked so inconsistently. Employers aren't doing a good job implementing AI from a united front. I think management is trusting that employees are going to use AI to improve productivity, but businesses need a productivity-focused technology team to stay 2 steps ahead of the employees using AI to help in their work. So we kind of spoke about that earlier this week. So if your business has an IT department, you need to stand up a team that can get ahead of users, have someone sitting with an employee using AI, understand how they're using it, and then give the employee approved tools to use. Getting all of your employees on one system that is saving context, sharing knowledge is where the real winning comes from. Imagine logging into your AI and it knows what everyone at your business did yesterday. You can continue your own work or seamlessly pick up someone else's work.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, but it's doubled since last year. We spoke earlier this week about 2026 is the year that products and businesses really start implementing AI and automating things through agentic workflows. I think we're seeing that just with the adoption of employees now.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like the last year or two has been like, will AI be a thing that we use or will it not be? I feel like we're officially at everyone knows they're going to have to use AI at some point.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's going
starting
to
to
become
bring it in.
it's going to be part of the work. Wes, like you're using Excel, you're using, Slack or Teams, or you're definitely using Outlook.
Yeah.
You're
The
going to be
internet.
using, yeah, if you're going to be using this as well. It's just a different interface. So yeah, so ThomsonReuters.com had this article. I thought it was very interesting. They have, you can download on their site, their 2026 AI and Professional Service Report. I'll give a couple quick overviews. The report shows that overall organization-wide usage of AI has almost doubled. We talked about that. 22% in 2025 seems pretty high, don't you think?
It does. I feel like working in tech, it feels like
Yeah.
everyone has already been using it, but I could see, this very smaller businesses being slower to adopt it.
Yeah. Another thing here is a majority of respondents to the Reuters service report, they say they feel excited or hopeful for generative AI prospects in their
Wait, how many? Or what percentage?
it just said a majority, 2/3.
2/3. Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah, I feel like that's very hit or miss. You talk to one person and it's very doomer.
Yeah.
AI is the worst thing for humanity, and then other people are very excited about it. So
Yeah. And we spoke earlier this week about ROI. Like we ranked 5 use cases or 5 cases that from most ROI to the least ROI, and marketing was the top, obviously. But in their research, only 18% of people are saying that their organization's actually tracking the return on investment.
yeah, that's interesting. And I saw they break down how people are tracking the ROI because it's very different across different businesses. So, for example, the 77% say they track it as internal cost savings. So I feel like that makes sense. If the company's saving money, then that is ROI. But then right under that one, employee usage, that doesn't seem inherently like ROI to me, because just because employees are using it, that doesn't mean you're getting value out of it.
Yeah. An interesting point that this makes, and this is talking about the use of AI at like a legal firm. Although more than half of both corporate legal departments and corporate tax departments want their outside firms to use AI on client matters, less than 1/3 said they were aware whether their firms were doing so or not. From the firm standpoint, confusion reigns. 40% of firm respondents said they had received orders both to use AI on matters and not to use AI on matters from clients. And
Interesting.
so I'm interested that people even care if people are using AI, except for like what information is being shared about me.
Right.
And then about 3/4 of corporate respondents and firm respondents agreed that firms should be taking the lead in starting these conversations around proper AI use. Firms are reluctant. They claim it would compromise quality and fidelity, said one US-based corporate chief legal officer. I think they are threatened by it.
Yeah, that's interesting. I feel like that goes back to just the trust thing we talked about before, where right now very few people trust the AI, so it's like a negative, but eventually that will flip and then it'll be like, you're not using AI to help me, so you're taking longer to fix my problem. And then people will just come to expect it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an interesting thing you see across, especially with people that charge hourly. Like they aren't incentivized to get things done quickly, even though it's more valuable to get things done quickly. But like attorneys, accountants charge, $500 an hour or something like that. Obviously, when you charge per hour, your revenue just takes a dump essentially. Whenever, because how much of their time was reading and how much of their time was writing. And when that kind of work goes away, I mean, charging $100 an hour for a paralegal's time, they're being the chat GPT essentially. But instead of taking 3 days, it's done in like 3 minutes. And then you got the paralegal double check it. But yeah, some of these industries are going to get disrupted for sure. And adoption is on the rise. But I think this interesting section in this Thomson Reuters article, an interesting sections when it goes into like legal and accounting firms reluctant to use it. And they kind of have leverage to do that because it's really high stakes work they're working on.
Yeah. Yeah, it says 35% of law firms have no plans to use AI.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Which they want to keep.
Government is at 50% almost.
Wow. Are you looking at the other report are you looking at the whole Reuters report?
I'm looking at the Thomson Reuters report. There's an infographic 3, agentic AI use on the rise.
Yeah, I was gonna read the summary of this article, and then maybe we can share some of those infographics.
Yeah.
But overall, it closes out, the report makes it clear that most professionals do understand that change driven by AI in the workplace is undoubtedly here, even compared with 2025. A higher proportion of professionals said they believe that AI will make a major impact on jobs, billing, and revenue, and even the need for legal or tax and accounting professionals as a whole. The percentage of lawyers calling AI a major threat to the unauthorized practice of law rose to 50% in 2026 from 36. So the more it's adopted, the more worried that lawyers are getting worried about unauthorized practice.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Of law. Like it is going to get interesting. Like you need a person to pass a bar to prove that they know things, but it's very interesting. I wonder how many people are like representing themselves when they get sued or something like that.
Yeah, with AI.
Yeah, or they can make the points they need based on researching. Like you're getting sued because of this tenant landlord contract, and the landlord is just used to suing their tenants for some clause, but then you throw it in ChatGPT and it finds some way out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's interesting because if you have to pass the bar, which is you have to prove that you have the knowledge. So if the AI has the knowledge, then are they technically, authorized to practice law at that point?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's look at some of these infographics. I'll share these because I think they're pretty interesting for sure. The first one, little measurement of AI's ROI is your organization measuring the ROI of AI tools. So the dark color here is a no. Is your organization measuring the ROI of AI tools? The red is yes. So in total, 18%, we knew that. Law firms are not. They're at 42%. Corporate and legal at 43. Who's doing really well? Government is, guys, we're in trouble whenever the government is actually doing things right.
Wait, is this right? This is saying they don't know if they're measuring the ROI. No, because they're only saying yes to 12% of the government. is
Oh,
measuring.
okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
The government doesn't know.
Yeah.
Okay,
That
this makes
tracks.
more. Yeah, so there's 3 bars in this bar chart for each type of business. Is your organization measuring the ROI? The government, 73% say they don't know, 15% say they are not, and 12% says they are. Corporate risk. So
Yeah,
they're,
that's interesting.
yeah, most corporate risk is actually tracking ROI, which makes sense.
Wait, no, it says they're not.
Well, they know if they aren't or not. Sorry, I should have clarified.
Yeah. They're
They
just
have
saying like, yeah, we know we are not tracking it.
yeah, we know we are not because, well, they're good at assessing risk.
Yeah.
The best here, who's the best? Corporate tax and corporate legal actually is the most at 26 and 25%.
Yeah,
They're
that's
doing the
interesting.
best at measuring ROI. The tax firm and corporate risk are the highest no's. And then government, of course, is leading us and they don't know. And then let's see, yeah, corporate risk is probably has the most data, but they are not measuring it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and it's interesting if you look at the metrics they're using to track it, how
Yeah.
low. So new business one, only 17% of those track ROI as getting new business, and only 26% as client satisfaction.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you looking at this bar chart to the right now?
Yes.
If measuring ROI of AI, what metrics are you using? Cost savings, employee usage, employee satisfaction. So yeah, that's interesting too. Those metrics, ROI, it's like, yeah, I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
Client satisfaction. Some
Yeah,
of them are using
so
client
they're tracking if their
satisfaction.
employees are more satisfied with using AI than the
Mhm.
downstream effects of the client.
Mhm.
I feel like this is kind of a backwards way to track it.
Honestly, yeah, like, has the AI helped us get more business? Like, get more
Yeah.
customers?
Yeah.
Has it given us more revenue? Has it made our customers happier?
Yeah, that seems important.
Yeah, but I think the easiest is internal cost savings. Like, it's so much easier. How do you track new business one to the use of AI? Like, I think it's just so much easier to track internal cost savings.
Yeah, which I think that's a good one. I think you should track the cost savings, but like employee usage, I think that's important to track, but that's not an ROI in my opinion.
Yeah, employee satisfaction doesn't matter really. Like, I guess if satisfaction becomes more compliance, like, oh, there's this task I need you to do, but you don't like doing it.
Yeah, true.
If your Claude is telling you jokes and that makes it a little easier to do the work,
That does
I
help,
guess yeah. The next infographic was really good. You were talking about agentic AI use on the rise, organizational agentic AI usage by organizational type. So the darkest color, no plans to use. Government has no plans to use it. Well, I wonder if that's changed since the whole Department of War stuff, which we haven't talked about on here. I think it's too late. But anyways,
True.
who does look like they're considering using it or planning to use it the most is corporate risk, which makes sense. Like, use AI to, like, they're already using AI to assess risk, right? That's just not LLMs, like this basic use case. Tied using it, those who are reporting already using it is corporate tax and corporate legal at 18%. Respectively. Yeah, the government at 49% not planning to use, and then the next highest is a law firm at 35%, which the government's obviously planning on using it.
Yeah, no, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I think this right here is going to be like a snapshot of history where 10 years from now, everyone's going to be using it. Like there's no way it doesn't end up there. I feel like if you go back to the 80s or the 90s and say, do you plan on using the internet in your business?
Yeah.
The government would be like, nah.
Yeah.
But like, obviously they do.
That was all today. Thank you so much for listening. If you are in tech or you run a small business and you want the latest in AI and tech news, tune in every weekday, sometimes on Saturday, and join us for
crazy.
If you're feeling crazy, join us for a fun time. And if you are curious where AI fits into your small business and you're wanting to know use cases, a strategy to implement it, go to infactodigital.com. You'll find a call to action to RSVP to our AI for Small Business webinar. There's also a link in the description. We will go through use cases with AI as well as talk about implementation strategies. And there's even, Jackson, a free one-on-one consultation that you can get at the end of those.
Wow, that's a deal right there. And that's free?
That's a deal. Free. Thanks,
That's
man.
crazy.
Yeah. All right. See you tomorrow.
See ya.